World Baseball Classic update time. In this episode, we'll talk about the opening weekend of the WBC. Team Japan is the first team to advance through pool play. Dominican Republic and USA look dominant as expected. Australia almost pulled the upset against Japan. Now are against Korea away from the quarterfinals. We'll talk about Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela, Italy, Cuba, Korea, and more. Shout out to W Energy Drink. Shout out to W Energy Drinks for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description.
Good job.
And use promo code that boy for 10% off.
Woo!
Yay!
Alright,
That
That's
one was
my
more
face.
exciting.
That's my face.
That's a beautiful face.
Okay. Do you guys have any?
Oh, Fortress hit a home run today.
Juan Soto!
And
he's
well, who's better than Juan Soto?
Aaron Judge.
That's what I'm talking
No,
about.
Team USA.
That's, what does that have to do with USA?
Taylor Swift is from USA.
Oh, Taylor Swift she's USA right now. Alright, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Taylor Swift rocks.
Yeah, maybe
She'll do the 7th inning stretch for the World Baseball Classic Finals. All right.
you guys good?
Anything else to say?
I'm out of things.
Alright.
I said
I got
too
it.
much last time.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let's get into the episode.
Yeah!
What's up, guys? Thank you to my kids for that awesome intro. And before I get into the episode, I want to apologize for the audio quality of that intro. After we were done, we realized that the actual microphone was sitting on my shelf, which is about 4 feet away from where we're sitting. And I didn't want to have them redo it because I thought that would take away some of the authenticity of it. So we're just kind of rolled with it. So I apologize for that. I do have the microphone back, so the audio should be better now. Shout out to them. I appreciate it. They have a blast doing this. They get excited for it every time. I've actually had a couple people reach out saying that they think it's really cool that they're getting involved. So thank you to them. And shout out to W. All right, let's get into the World Baseball Classic. This was a awesome opening weekend. I've never sat and watched so much baseball in a 48-hour stretch and I was just riveted game after game after game. It was awesome. I am going to start with the Netherlands because this is the 6th edition of the World Baseball Classic. We had never had a walk-off home run. Enter the Netherlands. Enter Xander Bogaerts. Enter the Nicaraguan team that, man, they really went through it in that 9th inning. So the Netherlands-Nicaragua game, Nicaragua was really rolling for the majority of that game. We get into the 9th inning. Xander Bogaerts comes up with 2 outs, hits a ground ball to third base. Not necessarily routine, but I would say there's a 90% chance they're getting him out at first, barring a bad throw. The ball is going down the line. It hits the third base bag, bounces over the third baseman's head into left field, allowing Bogaerts to reach. Dusty Baker comes out, visits his pitcher, Obando. Doesn't bring in the lefty that everybody was expecting him to bring in, who was ready to go, to force Ozzie Albies to switch to the right side, which is his less powerful side of the plate. Left Obando in. First pitch, fastball, literally right down this, like middle. Couldn't have been an easier pitch. Couldn't have been a more batting practice pitch. And Ozzie Albies absolutely demolishes it, taking the Netherlands on the brink of really disaster of losing to Nicaragua and launching himself into the history books with the first walk-off home run in World Baseball Classic history. It was a thrilling, but the moment that Xander Bogaerts' ball hit that bag and went over his head, and the moment Dusty Baker decided to leave that pitcher, and I said, this is not going to end well. I didn't think it was going to happen within a pitch, but credit to Albies. Credit to Bogaerts, put the ball in play, make the defense do something, get some luck along the way, and boom, 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 we got a walk-off home run. It took away from Erasmo Ramirez, who had a phenomenal outing for Nicaragua. 5 innings, 1-run ball on a 65-pitch limit to get through 5 innings against the Netherlands offense, which is not a bad offense. You got Xander Bogaerts, you got Ozzy Albies, you got Didi Gregorius. You got some guys in that lineup. 5 innings, 1-run ball for Ramirez was diminished by back-to-back pitches. One unlucky ground ball and then a fastball right down the middle for Albies to just send 15 rows deep into right center field. And then, to top it off, within a couple hours, we get a second walk-off home run in World Baseball Classic history. Puerto Rico walks off Panama. There was no walk-off home runs in the entire history of the World Baseball Classic, and we get 2 within a matter of a couple hours. Jose Caballero gives Panama the lead in the top of the 10th inning, which again would be a big upset. Puerto Rico was one of my favorites coming in to advance out of pool. They are in Pool A. No. We get to the bottom of the 10th. They tie it up with the ghost runner on second. And then Darrell Hernaiz, I don't know how to say that, walk-off home run, bomb to left field. Walks off in the bottom of the 10th. Walks off Panama. Pretty much keeps Puerto Rico alive. And we get another one. And then, the next day, Dominican Republic has the Netherlands up 10-1 in the 7th inning. Juan Soto with a bomb to right field. Walks them off. Asterisks. Because of the mercy rule. He walks them off to win 12-1 in the 7th inning, with the mercy rules being up 10 after 7 or later. So technically a walk-off home run because he hits the home run and they walk off the field. I don't think it's a walk-off home run personally because it doesn't hit the same when you're up by 9 in the 7th inning to hit a home run and you're like, oh, game's over. There's my walk-off. That doesn't do it for me. But technically speaking, it is a walk-off home run for the Dominican Republic. I'm going to asterisk that because I don't think it doesn't weigh the same. Like, you're not losing. You're not tied. Netherlands were down by 2 in the 9th inning with 2 outs. And Ozzy Albies hit the 3-run bomb. That's different. Puerto Rico was tied in the bottom of the 10th. Hernandez hits a walk-off home run. That's different. Juan Soto was up by 9 in the bottom of the 7th and hits a home run. But kudos to him. Additionally, so let's stick with the Dominican Republic for a little bit. Junior Caminero, O'Neal Cruz power them past Nicaragua. Bad weekend for Nicaragua this couple days. Junior Caminero hits a home run to give Dominican Republic the lead, and I have never seen somebody run around the bases in this way. One, he got to second base in probably 2 seconds. He was sprinting around the bases, and then he gets halfway between second and third and fully blacks out. Stops running. He's jumping around, screaming, chains bouncing all over the place. Gets home, does his thing. A couple innings later, O'Neal Cruz hits one of the hardest home runs I've ever seen in my life, which basically blew the top off the game, ended it for Nicaragua. It was probably over already, but came in, hit, I swear, one of the hardest balls I've ever seen. This Dominican Republic offense looks terrifying. I'm recording this on Sunday. In today's game against the Netherlands, where Juan Soto walked them off, quote unquote, walks them off, Caminero homered again, as well as Vladdy Jr., Austin Wells. home run. This Dominican Republic offense looks so scary. I think the pitching can be had, but the offense looks, I think it's more difficult to get through than the U.S. offense. I think it's more difficult to get through than the Japanese offense. This is a terrifying offense. Speaking of the Japanese, let's move on into Japan. Japan had an interesting weekend. They destroyed Chinese Taipei, and then they squeaked past Korea. That was one of the most exciting games I've watched. The Korea-Japan game. Seiya Suzuki hit 2 bombs. Masataka Yoshida, Shohei Ohtani's having one hell of a tournament already. And then Japan has Australia early this morning, Sunday. And they were on the ropes. They were down 1-0 in the 7th inning. I mean, obviously Australia's not scoring a bunch, but Australia pitching has been incredible through their first 3 games. They needed to win. Again, if they beat Japan, they advance through the pool play. They had them down 1-0. And then Masataka Yoshida, you can say what you want about his MLB career. He's been awful. He sucks in Major League Baseball. He's a bench guy. But when it comes to the World Baseball Classic, that dude is an absolute legend for Japan in the World Baseball Classic. He hits the 2-run bomb to give them the lead. They tack on a couple more. They end up giving up solo home runs in the 9th to Australia to end up winning 4-3. Japan becomes the first team to advance through group play. They are the winners of Pool D. And Australia, actually we'll get into them in a minute. The Japanese team, no surprises there. Kind of had a feeling they were going to cruise through their pool. Thought Korea would be their biggest competition, not necessarily Australia. But they did what they had to do. Pitching was okay. Their pitching was okay. They struggled a little bit with Korea, but they pitched well against Taiwan. They pitched well against Australia. Mexico is powered past Great Britain on a 3-run 8th inning home run to break a 1-1 tie by Jonathan Aranda. As of recording this episode, they are up 7-0 over Brazil. So they will be likely moving to 2-0, joining the U.S. team and the Italian team. This pool is going to be very close. There's games remaining between Italy, USA, and Mexico, and all those games are going to be absolutely huge. Tonight, as of releasing this episode on Monday, we have USA versus Mexico. It's Paul Skeens versus Mexico. So this is a big game for both teams. The winner of this game is going to advance to the quarterfinals. The loser of this game now has to beat Italy. Venezuela. I think this is going to be Venezuela's year to get pretty deep in this pool, deep in this tournament. Luis Arias somehow finding his power stroke. He hit 2 home runs against Israel. I think he hit like 7 home runs all of last season. He's not a home run guy. I don't know what happened there. Just bad pitching. I'm not sure. As of this recording, they're 2-0. They are tied with the Dominican Republic in Pool 2. Seems likely that they are both going to get through. Israel is winning right now, so they will likely go to 1-1. But you got Venezuela and DR both with 2 wins already, and the Netherlands and Israel have 1 win should Israel close their game out today. Nicaragua was already out, pretty much. So this seems like it's going to be relatively easy for DR and Venezuela to get through pool play. Team USA handily taking care of Brazil and Great Britain in their first 2 games. Mexico and Italy obviously will provide bigger competition. The next few nights, those games are going to be huge for all 3 of them. Like I had mentioned in the Mexico segment, those 3 games are going to be huge. The USA offense has been just absolutely wearing down these pitchers. They are walking a ton. Where the Dominican Republic is just blowing you away with power, USA is just wearing down pitching staffs. They've faced, I think in the first 2 games, each team has used 7 or 8 pitchers against them. They just, with the pitch count rules, the inability to consistently throw strikes, they are just plowing through pitchers, making them work so hard. This is probably the most patient group of hitters that you can assemble, with Aaron Judge, with Kyle Schwarber, with Bregman, with Cal Raleigh, who he's not as patient. But then you got Bobby Witt Jr., you got Gunnar Henderson, who had a 4-hit day against Great Britain. You have just a ridiculous amount of people in this lineup that just don't expand the zone. They don't expand the zone. They are making the pitchers work, and then they're getting their pitch, and they're absolutely demolishing it. Oddly, both Tarek Skubal and Logan Webb let leadoff home runs to both. Sorry, had a brain fart there. Both Logan Webb and Tarek Skubal let up leadoff home runs to Brazil and Great Britain, and then settled in and basically took care of business after that. The offenses took care of them. The offense was a little bit slow against Great Britain. Didn't score until the 5th, and then exploded after that. Tarek Skubal was kind of elusive when they asked him about making another start for Team USA. I'm still really irritated with him. I think it's really shitty that he kind of half-assed his commitment to Team USA. Said, yeah, I'll go make a start against Great Britain, which is probably between them and Brazil, the worst team in the pool. I'll go make a start against them, and then I'm going back to Detroit. This is my free agent year. I don't want to get hurt. I understand. I get it. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to cost yourself hundreds of millions of dollars. I get that. Then don't come at all. Don't give us this bullshit start against Great Britain that we could probably throw anybody out there against Great Britain. However, it seems like Team USA has given him some feelings that he wasn't expecting to feel. Pitching for his country gave him some feelings he wasn't expecting to feel. They asked him about coming back. He said he's going to make some phone calls. If he makes another start, I will take back everything I said. But I don't like what he's doing right now. I think he's just kind of messing with people. He's kind of toying. Like, I don't know. I think I'm like so good. Like, how bad do you need me? Kind of thing. It's like, okay, Paul Skeens is better, bro. Right? Anyway, I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed with what he's doing. But he was very elusive when they asked him about making his next start. He said he's got to make some phone calls to Detroit. And his agent, who knows, maybe he's going to start again. Australia. They have been, along with maybe Cuba, Australia has been the biggest surprise for me so far. They took care of Chinese Taipei and Czechia. Czechia, I'm not as surprised about, but taking care of Chinese Taipei the way they did and having Japan up against the ropes the way they did, I'm impressed. They got a game against Korea. If they beat Korea, they're getting through. They had to win one of two. They had to beat Japan or Korea. If I had to make a bet beforehand, I would have said Korea. It looked like they were going to beat Japan, but they couldn't get through that lineup the last time. The third time through, they just couldn't finish it. They got a big game against Korea. They need to win that one to get through. So if Korea wins that game, it's going to get murky. If Australia wins that game, they are through, and Korea's out. Chinese Taipei had a huge win over Korea to keep their hopes alive last night. That was also, I'm telling you, yesterday, Saturday, was one of the most exciting days of baseball I've ever witnessed. With the Netherlands game, with the Puerto Rico game, with just being able to watch Team USA, even though that game wasn't ultimately close. Just watching Team USA is fun. And then the Chinese Taipei and Korea game, it was just a phenomenal day of baseball. Wild ball game. Lead change, seemingly every other inning. Yu Chang started off with home run for Chinese Taipei with Sung Chi Chang and Stuart Fairchild. And then Korea, Do Young Kim hit a home run. He had 3 RBIs. He had a big RBI 2-run double in, I don't remember what it was, like the 8th inning or so. Chinese Taipei in extras made an out at home plate to nail the ghost runner. The ghost runner that starts on second base to start extra innings, which I hate. I get it for time, and I get they're trying to mimic what Major League Baseball is doing, but that stupid ghost runner is it's so stupid. I hate that Major League Baseball does it. I hate that the World Baseball Classic does it. I think it's so dumb. But Chinese Taipei made an excellent play at home plate to get the ghost runner out, and ended up closing out that game. It was an absolute must win. They lose that game, they're out. You could tell after the game was over, every single player was crying. Now it puts Korea, who was the favorite behind Japan, behind the 8 ball. They have to beat Australia. And they beat Australia, and then I got to go through the tiebreaker to see who goes where. Canada. Don't want to forget about Canada. They were one of my favorites coming into this tournament. They are 1-0. Currently, they are up 2-1 over Panama as of this recording. They're in the 5th inning. Should they go on to finish that game out, it would create a 3-way tie atop Pool A with Puerto Rico and Cuba, who has absolutely shocked me. Another one. Cuba is missing a lot of the big names that could have come to the tournament. They were Cuban-born, and they are playing really, really well. But Canada is, I think, one of the deeper rosters, not named Japan, DR, and US. I think they're right up there with the Mexicos, with the Venezuelas. But that would create a 3-way tie over Panama and Colombia. Would be pretty much done. They'll be playing for the ability to come back. Should you go 0-4, you lose your eligibility to be in the next World Baseball Classic. You have to go through qualifications again. So should Canada finish out that win, Panama and Colombia will each be 0-3, and they will be playing for an invitation to the next World Baseball Classic. And then Canada, Puerto Rico, and Cuba will be battling it out to see which two get through. Czechia, Great Britain, Colombia, Brazil. Haven't mentioned any of them. They have been absolutely terrible. They've been bad. I was going to put Nicaragua in that group, but they haven't been blown out the way those other teams have. Czechia, I understand. Their team is like a bunch of electricians and teachers. So asking them to go compete with Japan and Korea and Australia and Taiwan is just a lot to ask for. Great Britain doesn't have any depth. Brazil. Oh, one thing I do want to mention about Brazil. The 17-year-old, is it Joe Contreras? Jose Contreras' kid? Excellent. This kid, 17-year-old high school kid, came in to face Aaron Judge with 1 out and the bases loaded and shatters his bat and gets him to ground into a double play. The amount of bragging rights this kid is going to have for the rest of his high school career and college career, minor league career, whatever career he goes on to have, he's going to pitch somewhere. He's got electric stuff. He's throwing 98 and he's 17 years old. Got Aaron Judge to ground into a double play to get out of a jam. Awesome. That was so cool. Other than that, team is terrible. That's all I have for the update. I think I'm going to do another one, so I'm not going to wait a full week for the next episode. I'm going to do one once pool play ends, give a little preview of the quarterfinals and beyond. I do want to give a little update on my predictions. So if you caught my last episode, I gave my predictions for pool play. They are looking very, very good at the moment. Out of 8 teams that I selected to advance through pool play, only 1 has lost the game. And that was Korea, who is 1-2. So my Pool A predictions of Canada and Puerto Rico are combined 3-0, with Canada winning currently to make that 4-0. Pool B, US and Mexico, they are a combined 3-0. 4-0, actually, because they were up 7-0. So 4-0 for them too. Pool C, I have Japan and Korea. Japan has already advanced, so that one is good. Korea is kind of my question mark at the moment. Again, Australia is really surprising me. And then in Pool D, Dominican Republic and Venezuela combined 4-0. There isn't a whole lot to go wrong here. This isn't like Major League Baseball, where you can have some surprises. There's usually not many surprises in this tournament until we start moving through tournament play. Pool play, there's usually 1 or 2 weak links in every pool. So making these selections, getting them in order, getting the 1-2 in order might be difficult, but that's about it. But I did want to give that update. I will do a preview of the tournament once pool play is complete. Give me a follow on TikTok at TheBatBoyMLB. Subscribe here. I've been posting a ton of shorts, and I've been getting a lot of interactions. I've been getting a lot of international interactions, which is really cool. People reaching out from the Netherlands when I posted a video about the walk-off. People reaching out from Puerto Rico when I posted about theirs. That's been really cool. The people from Mexico did not seem to like my update yesterday in my 52-second short where I quickly ran down a couple teams and excluded Mexico unintentionally. So I apologize to those folks that were upset about that. I saved Mexico for the full episode. But give me a follow over there. Also on Twitter and or X, I've been posting a ton. So go follow me over there at JoeButter_. And we will be back in a few days. I appreciate you guys listening again. Shout out to W Energy. Got the goodies here to go along with the hat. Go check them out. Link is below in the description. Use promo code BATBOY, get 10% off. We'll see you guys next time.